Welcome to the New Art Music Masterworks Concert Series. Adventurous, exciting, innovative, cutting edge. Enjoy the magic and discover the music of our times. New Art Music presents the 10 years anniversary concert.
My view of music is that it is a vehicle for transforming thoughts, ideas, and emotions into sound in such a way that the listener experiences the same ideas, thoughts, and emotions that went into making the music. My search as a composer is understanding what kinds of parameters of sounds evoke what kinds of ideas, thoughts, and emotions in the listener. What I'm trying to achieve with music is very much the same idea that Ayn Rand expounds upon in her work, The Romantic Manifesto. To show man not just as man is, but as he or she can and should be. The world is not a hopeless and dreary place. We have control over our lives in the end, and I want my music to reflect that. When I wrote A Pair, I had devised a system to transliterate letters into specific pitches, and not just letters, but also punctuation and numbers. The idea being that in this way I could transform entire texts into musical notes, and that these texts could be understood by a careful listener, familiar with the transliteration system. I used the diatensor keyword layout and the ideas of letter frequencies to map out the letters to the pitches. I wrote it down in this notebook that I still carry with me. It's here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Here are some of the letters. I believe they will be mirrored. Let's see if we can correct that. There you go. And back. Punctuations are on the other page, and then I wrote this poem to sort of showcase this system, and the result of it was A Pair. I placed the melody and the text in the violin, and I used the other instruments to support the violin, basically.
Sylvia. I'm sending you this video from Ottawa, Canada. I hope this message finds you well. Thank you very much for asking me to contribute to the 10th anniversary of the New Art Music Celebration. That's fantastic. Also, thank you for performing my composition written for chamber orchestra entitled Nonet in a European premiere performance in Vienna, Austria by the Euro-American Newartmusik Sinfonietta under the baton of Maestro Christian Wenzel. The three-movement Nonet, as the name implies, is composed for 9 instruments: flute, oboe, clarinet in B-flat, bassoon, violin 1 and 2, viola, cello, and contrabass. In this work, I am playing with the number 9. Each of the 3 movements is about 3 minutes in duration, and the number 9 is divisible by 3. The total duration of the work is 9 minutes and 36 seconds, which is divisible by 9. I have been fortunate to have my music performed in Canada, the United States, South America, Europe, and Asia, and my compositions have been broadcast around the world on radio stations. Presently, I'm a doctoral candidate in music composition in the UK, and for my PhD thesis, I'm busy composing a multi-movement work for orchestra and chorus entitled Holocaust Remembrance. I would like to dedicate this work to the 6 million Jews who were murdered during the Shoah. It is through music that I would like to share the hope that discrimination of any kind will end, the hope that we will become more tolerant. I wish for the piece Holocaust Remembrance to weep, wail, cry, and scream at the top of its lungs so that we will never forget the 6 million children, women, and men who were so senselessly rounded up like cattle and murdered. Never again.
Wir bleiben bei Komponistinnen, ebenfalls vom amerikanischen Kontinent, Evelyn Strobach aus Kanada, dort eine sehr etablierte Komponistin, hat ein Nonet geschrieben in 3 Sätzen, das wir Ihnen gerne präsentieren wollen. My name is Christian Wenzel. I'm a German composer living in France. Well, I'm glad to have the opportunity to talk about my 5 pieces for orchestra. Originally, they were piano pieces, which I wrote in 1995, and I orchestrated them about 15 years later in 2010. So they have quite a history. It's a set of 5 short pieces, and what they have in common is they start with a very simple musical idea, which then is developed and sometimes even analyzed or dissected. So they're rather like aphorisms, or I would rather call them psychographs, because they are like an atmospheric snapshot. And I think of them as musical diary entries. In fact, if I remember correctly, it was my plan to write a piece every day, just as you write in a diary. So that was the original intention, and later I developed that into orchestra pieces, and they have become very dear to me. I still like them, although my compositional style obviously has changed a lot during the last years. And there are certain idols, musical idols I have, and I would say these pieces pay tribute to them. There is Gustav Mahler, who is one of my heroes, and I think the first piece, for example, with its funeral march-like rhythms and atmosphere, owes quite a deal to the music of Gustav Mahler. And then there is the burlesque, which could remind some listeners of the wonderful music of Dmitri Shostakovich. So basically, these pieces are quite tonal. Well, the musical heroes I just mentioned in connection with my orchestra pieces, they still happen to hang over my piano, and when I practice or when I compose, I look at them. There is Gustav Mahler, of course, whose music I absolutely love. And there is Shostakovich, who I have a lot of admiration for as well. And I mentioned the shortness of the orchestra pieces, and I think this can be linked to Arnold Schönberg and the second Viennese school, because at the beginning of the 20th century, in early modernism, pieces tended to be very short and more like aphorisms. And well, you can see that in Schönberg's early piano music and in his orchestra pieces. So I think I was influenced a lot by these 3 wonderful composers.
Silvia Constantinidis here. I am very happy to celebrate with everyone the 10 years anniversary of the Newartmusik project. There has a lot of things that has been accomplished in the last 10 years, and there is a lot more to come. So I thank every artist and musician that has collaborated with the Newartmusik and that is involved in these projects, and also all the young musicians that have participated in some of our newest projects. It's a pleasure to have you here, and I just wish everyone all success and all the best still to come. Thank you. The piece that you're going to hear today is my work Estampas de España. It belongs to the series of works that I have developed based on Spanish materials. They are the product of my musicological research on folkloric tunes, rhythms, traditions from the different regions of Spain. My interest for this music comes from my childhood. I used to hear a lot of these tunes at my home. My father is originally from Santander, Spain. So that's how that interest grew up in me. It is very close to my heart. I have worked on a variety of pieces with these ideas. They belong to a certain part of my music. I have different interests for my music creations, and one area is the research in musicology of Venezuelan music, of Spanish music, Greek music, American music. But the research into the Spanish music is very close to me because of my father. I have developed quite a few works with the flavor and the melodies and the materials from Spanish ideas, from Spanish tunes and Spanish memories. First, I have, or some of the most important, I can mention my Fandango Español, which is a piece that I premiered myself conducting with the symphony in Italy, in Venice, with the Romanian Symphony, and it was later premiered in 2018 in Venezuela with one of the symphonies of the El Sistema in the Latin American Festival of Contemporary Music. I have also a few concertos. I have a concerto for harpsichord that is based on Spanish materials and is a Baroquist work. It reminds very much of the Baroquism and the ornamentations of that period, as well as other ideas. I thought they will combine well with the harpsichord, and so I wrote that concerto. After that, from that concerto came the idea to write a piano concerto, which is the Estampas de España. It's actually my second piano concerto. The first one is quite contemporary, and I wrote it in 2006 while I was in Czech Republic, while I was staying in Czech Republic and studying over there. This one is a little later, and it was premiered in 2015 here in Miami, and then later it was played in Paris and in Vienna. I have also another work called the Alhambra, which is a concerto also for trumpet and orchestra. That one was premiered last year in February in Venezuela with one of the symphonies over there, with the regional symphony of El Sistema Estado Nueva Esparta, and a wonderful trumpet player over there, a young man called Edgar Handam. So in addition to I have a few piano pieces, a cycle of piano pieces based on Spanish materials too. This particular one we're going to hear, the Estampas de España, is a very charging material that goes through the whole concerto. The second movement is quite romantic and a little baroquist too. And it ends up with the Malagueña, which is a very charging, dancing, energetic rhythm. I hope you all enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you for watching New Art Music, the best new music concert experience. Enjoy the magic at New Art Music TV, a digital platform where artists, creators, and musicians live.